Anyway, yeah, old people. But I started bombing and I got heckled by a real 89-year-old Asian lady. And that's a bit, but I'm like, that's when I had to learn crowd work. Or my buddy Cody Mears called it 2 days ago. He said, I don't like to do crowd work. He's a good road dog, by the way. Shout out Cody Mears from Austin. I met him somewhere in Louisiana. He's like, I have to call it crowd control. I'm just like Carson, Derek. I want to do my fucking bits and craft them and get it to be like tight. I don't want to do a bit of crowd work, but I got to do crowd control to keep the show on the tracks, hopefully, theoretically.
I'll do like, man, like it happens randomly. Alright, Derek, this is a day in the life with Carson Taylor and my guest, Derek Shirley.
Glad to be here.
It's a very funny Derek Shirley.
Hey, thank you.
From Lucedale, Mississippi. Yeah. And he is going to tell us about a day that he has had recently. And where were you at?
I was in, well, it all started, brevity's not my strong suit, by the way, in New Orleans. It was a day in the life, and I'm an old dad, so I didn't realize that it coincided with Mardi Gras. And had I known, I love my friends, I wouldn't have given a shit about a guest spot or a mic or whatever it was. It was a mic.
So you were going to do stand-up?
Yeah, I was going to do stand-up
in New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Fucking the middle of Mardi Gras.
Kirby Hollett hates that. He hates Mardi Gras.
I was born in New Orleans. And I fucking hate Mardi Gras. The last Mardi Gras I went to, I took a girlfriend in the year 2000, and she was about 4'11", and we were packed so tightly. The only other time I thought I was gonna die of like suffocate maybe was at Seeing Corn Family Value Store in Biloxi at the front row. But her feet were off the ground, and she was that's how packed we were. Like she was getting scared. But I went. I fucking saw a lit-ass parade that I was rerouted like 2 miles around after I parked it at a parking garage. There was a nice lady with a transportation department hat, like, you know, sitting in a blue chair near the greater Chapatula Street area. It turns out there's a lot of parking garages with a nice lady with a hat, and I don't know where it is. I don't know. It would have been better if it would have gotten like that.
But it was like 2 miles away from the venue?
Well, it was way closer than that, bro. But you can't just cross the street. Spoiler alert.
Closer than that?
Way closer.
And you couldn't find it?
Yeah, but here's the thing, bro. If I could have just crossed any street that this goddamn shitty fucking parade was on, I would have been at the venue, lickety split. But my sense of direction and common sense, some would say, is a little skewed. So I'm just like, got my GPS out, like, I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking make it. What do I do? So I was parkouring over homeless people. I was so sweaty. It was like, I'd made it there in time to walk, no sweat, in a few minutes. It was over an hour, and I was running. It was like some shitty commercial for something. I don't even know what I was selling. It was so dramatic because I just wanted to go up. I didn't even fucking care if it was a Chili's.
So you were running to the mic?
Yeah, to Ryan Rogers' mic.
How'd your set go?
It went well. It went well. People that hate me and don't fuck with me said a good set too.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them out there, but they're funny too. But you know, I'm not in New Orleans to make friends. I got enough friends that are funny. If you want to be my friend, hey, DM me or just see me anywhere. But I had a good set. And it was, Ryan wasn't hosting. He was off doing some awesome thing like he does now, which is good because he's been doing it as long as me, and he's funny as fuck, way funnier, and hustles and puts himself out there. But did well there. Then me, Ryan Deacle, Matt Johnson, Crankus Gillespie they took me looking, and they were really, I give you guys credit, they were really in it, and I'm like, I have no clue, guys. I was redirected so many times by GPS in the football game, the only black dude, and I crossed, thank God, because I wouldn't have got across. Then I said, just quit looking, man. I will find it later. And then I went home with no car, and I paid my almost 20, she'll be 20 in a few days. Shout out Olivia Shirley, my 19-year-old daughter. She's hustling. She's a pharmacy tech. She's in pharmacy school now, and she works as a server on day and nights at my, her uncle's shop, whatever, food shop. But I paid her $200 to take her Ford F-150. It's like George Costanza. Sorry, because they're
oh shit!
It's like George Costanza. As soon as you start doing everything that your instinct tells you to do the opposite of that, my life started going great. I'm like, I should look for my car. Fuck it, comedy. I talk about it, and I'll TikTok it, clip me and Lamar's podcast with open mics.
Did you hire a private investigator to try to find that car?
That was very recent, and I won't tell you how many hundred of dollars I'm paying, but it's less.
He's still looking for it?
Well, we got some leads, and I just want to know how.
You have Mannix on the case?
Just one. Hopefully he's as manic as me, but yeah. Now it becomes an issue of, it was a nice pay per day and had the biggest Yelp review on the Chapatoulas Street area. I don't want to plug them on your show, but it was the safest in theory. Especially they beef up security during big events, which I was just looking for a place close to Ugly Dog Saloon or Salty Ball Saloon, whatever it's called. I really don't remember. It's Ugly Dog. I do remember.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
We might be able to.
We're only 6 minutes, 15 seconds in.
How many? Let me make sure this is still.
Oh, please tell me you got this.
It's still good. My battery's gonna die soon, but we're good. But how many blocks do you think you walked before you got to the venue?
So fucking many.
Really?
There was women twerking on floats. It was so lit.
How long was the walk from where you parked your car to the venue?
Over an hour, and I was walking or running at a good clip because it was just rerouted all.
Why didn't you take a picture of the two streets?
I took videos, bro. I took video. I had a ticket.
On the way there?
Nah.
You go to the
I did, but I lost that.
Instead of taking a photo of the street signs.
I'm the worst investigator. What an epiphany. Well, I lost that iPhone a few weeks ago at Ravens, my ex-girlfriend, who's a funny comic. Now, so if I ever get that phone back, in theory, I'll have better evidence than the private investigator probably. But anyway, we know where it is now. I don't want to be in a couple of bands to get an awesome Denali with fitted suits and some nice shoes and maybe drugs.
So how long is the car lost?
How
long do you look before you give up?
We look about. We got some chicken on a stick, man. Johnson and Ryan. I drank Dr. Pepper the whole time because I want to enunciate and get good. And I might have got stoned a little bit. 10 minutes. I said, y'all quit looking. This is futile. I think they're both phonetically correct. And then I went back later with my dad, who I told you had Alzheimer's, and we went to 2 of them. And he's like, yeah, you want to go just see a movie and go get some good seafood? And I was like, yeah. Let's go, Dad. Yeah. Then we did that.
That was the second car, though, right?
That was the second time. No, yeah, the second car was my mom's Buick popping tires and dodging grannies in between shows. My life was really shitty. I was single then, too, by the way. We were just talking about life.
Private investigator.
Yeah.
You hire him.
Yeah.
He's in New Orleans.
Sure. This was last week.
How long has he been a private investigator?
I looked him up. He's got good Yelp reviews and equivalent of that, depending on what you look him and a lot of others I cut down on. He's a good rate, and I just need to find out for closure if I can get out anything
listen. How long do you think in a week he's spending looking for your car?
No, it just started, and he's already found it. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. But now it becomes: do I need to hire my buddy Robert Benson because I'm not going to be in a couple of bands to a bougie pay by the day, or in theory you can pay by the month. It might still be there just chilling and need to be crunk, or hybrided, whatever you call that, because under 35 it sounds like a golf cart. Yeah. I bought it right before I took my kids to the Keys. It's the best truck, bro. It's the best. We could go on the best comedy field trips in luxury, leather, like AC in your booty and lower back seats.
I feel like that truck's like a dog. I'm like, that poor truck.
I know, I had it for a year.
Sitting there missing you.
Pearl white Denali. It was so nice. I had 2 fitted suits that I bought in the 2.5 years I've been doing comedy. For like real feature and
I can't believe you just gave up.
I like Steve Byrne in those suits, but not as handsome. But when I was clean shaven, I gave up because my comedy. I did Odd Colony, Killed With You, then I did Oof Comedy. John Merrifield fucking it was such a good room. I was so nervous. I told John, he was like, when he first met me, he was like, come here. After I did well at their mic, he said, you got 15 minutes? I said, yeah, man, what you want to talk about? He said, no, dickhead, do you have 15 minutes with me too? I said, oh yeah, buddy, I can do 20. I was lying. I had maybe 15, 13. I was lying. I didn't have 15, but I lied, and you have to at some point. So that got me. We're almost at the 12 minute mark. That got me. But how much you said how much? I do an hour. I start with an hour every morning with my coffee, just random shit. Not even getting my non sequiturs that I use now all the time that I taped from hosting that I would never like release, but yeah, an hour a day. But depending on how shitty my life is, and that's subjective. I'm blessed, my life's great, but an hour might start, and then I'm 3 hours later, I'm like, all right, I gotta make 2 or 3 mics tonight, and I try them out. If they work one time, I put a star beside them, and then who knows when I revisit them. What do you do?
Yeah. For me, it's like a lot of the times I write jokes when I'm at work. Because my buddies Brian and Sawyer that I work with, we'll just be talking shit, and I'll just kind of bounce stuff off of them. I'm like, oh, I just thought of something. Like, if they both laugh, like if Sawyer like puts his head up and starts laughing, I'm like, all right, I'm keeping that.
Because you got real people in your life that don't laugh at everything. That's good.
Yeah, so I bounce a lot of stuff off of them.
Tag it.
But a lot of the times I try to make at least some time, even if it's just like 20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Where I'm at home, where it's like I try to rewrite something, try to change a punchline up a little bit, or add a new tag or something, or I try to, like a lot of the times it's like when people say they get writer's block.
I've never fucking had that because my life is too wild.
Oh, it happens to me. Sometimes I just literally am like, man, I can't think of anything. Yeah. But what will get me started is I'll go to an old notebook and I'll reread old jokes that I've forgotten. Yeah. And then I'll find something that'll get me excited. And then I'll start writing new stuff for that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like the gears are working. And then I can start writing. And then I'm like, oh, or what if like, and then a new memory hits me about like Pokemon. Yeah. Now I'm writing a brand new bit. And I'm like, okay.
That's it.
So sometimes I just have to oil it up and like go into old shit.
Yeah. You know, and then sometimes I'm putting James Brown and DMX on driving 80 to my sweet pay gig like in Homer or whatever that Isaac put us on, or somewhere in Baton Rouge or wherever, a good paid gig or a feature guest spot. I know I'm about to crush it, and I'm like, I already thought of 2 or 3 jokes that day that I was going to put in the coherent narrative seemingly that I've never done, because you're not supposed to do that, but if it's a good room, I'm finna do that. Usually I try it at a mic first, but if it works even moderately with my funny friends at work or at mic, I'm like, I might add this in before I start in my real minutes, you know.
What's your ratio of like new to old when you do an open mic? And meaning like
now? Yeah, meaning what?
Like old as in like this joke's already written this way, done. Like you're not even trying to find anything new about it. You're just like, because I do that all the time. Like, and then Josephine calls me out.
Yeah. She should, but
she always calls me out anytime I go on stage at an open mic, and I do like 80% jokes that I've been doing.
She should. She's always young and hungry like me.
She's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like you just wasted that time.
I know.
And I'm like, you're right. You're right.
Funny. It's probably because there's more, like there's a bunch of crowd there that never seen it, but
Well, yeah. Sometimes it can be that. I think sometimes it's also like muscle memory accidentally happens. Like I remember like
survival mode.
There's been so many times I was like, all right, I'm gonna switch up my opener. Like say I'm trying to find a new opener, I'm trying to find a new closer, and I've been doing it that way for like 3 weeks. And it's working okay. It's like, well, what if I switch those? What if I make the closer, the opener, and then
you should be able to
I'll go on stage with like muscle memory still open, but the same thing. Like, God damn it!
I know. Me too. Every time I do a set list, almost, if I commit to that set list, which now is honestly, depending on the mic, if it's an open mic, you got to try new jokes. With that being said, the amount of new jokes I think is conversely related to the amount of hot fucking crowd versus comics that aren't. He doesn't give a fuck. He's not living up to his potential.
I was always not living up to
He's not applying himself. He can do so much better. I bet, but he's funny. I bet if they said
I did
funny.
get that. My
That's a win.
Mr. Benson told my dad, he was like, it was like all these things that I was doing wrong, and then he was like, but I gotta tell you, your son is hilarious. And I was like, dude, 13. And that was always, you know, I don't know if this was this way for you, but when I was a kid, to me, it was cooler to make the adults laugh than my friends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because like my dad was like the funniest person on the planet to me when I was growing up. He was hilarious, and so to make my dad laugh was like the coolest. I always wanted to try to make him laugh.
Yeah.
And then I think because of that, I was like, oh, I want to make trying to make my mom laugh was cool, and I was like, oh, I want to make these adults laugh.
Same.
And so like making my teacher laugh was always like way cooler than like making the people my age laugh.
I don't care about these dumb little
He's got a poo doo doo over here.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's over. It's watered down with poo doo doo. I was the same way, to the point where last night I was riding in the Jeep with Lamar to the blues thing after comedy. And his dad was on, and he was like, you know, I love you, son. And I was thinking, his dad talks like me. And anyway, he's like, and Lamar's like, I'm here with my friend Derek. He talks like Shaggy. I can't do it. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you. And I was talking to him about whatever, and I was crushing with just his dad, the truck driver, who talks just like me. I wasn't even trying to, but I needed an adult's validation. He was sounding like a salt to the earth, blue collar convoy truck driver like I was before nursing, and they were talking about God knows I don't know what, but he asked me to ride with him, so I crushed in front of his dad. Is what I'm saying. I still need adults validation. I so relate to that, bro.
But even that, I was that way even when I first started doing comedy.
Yeah.
Like I think it was also like this started becoming a thing too, like making elderly people laugh.
Yeah.
Because like I was a caretaker for my grandpa.
Oh yeah, you
for
told
5
me that.
years, and then like I was always watching Casablanca and old TV and listening. But he had a record player. I'm putting on old records like, you know, Ennio Morricone soundtracks and different stuff like that.
I know exactly who that is.
And then this love for like just old shit.
And like house beats, but it wasn't any house beats. I'm highly happy to be here. See how I call myself? Dude, it's the Speedy Gonzalez, not Speedy one. Did you paint that?
No, I don't live here.
Oh, sorry. Forget that. You're Ryan Adams.
Everything you put on your like, man, that's nice.
You're Ryan Adams' roommate. I forget. Another funny comment. Shout out Ryan Adams. You don't need any more risen up. Your gas stuff's up.
My favorite story of seeing someone bomb is actually seeing my buddy Bill. We were in Tallahassee and it was a packed room. It was like 100 people.
Wow.
And then next thing you know, he's on stage and he's doing good, and then he goes into this joke that he had just written when we were on the road about hitting dabs, because he hit his first dab and he hated it because it killed him. Dude.
It kills you. If you're not ready.
It knocked him out, dude. It Mike Tyson. And then
I can see that if you're not seasoned.
Oh, dude, it was like Ghost White. It was just like
Action Bronson, maybe a few line cooks I know are the only person that should ever have a dab. By the way, keep going.
But yeah, so he's on stage, and I just remember his punchline being, it was like, if weed is God's plant, then dabs are Satan's cum. And then dead silent, 100 people, and one dude in the way back just goes, fuck you.
That is the best. That's funny. See, if I can get somebody to heckle, say something funny like that, because I got you now. But in the beginning, that would have devastated me. Don't you think you need to be a certain amount of broken? And by that, I don't know about years, but if you count open mics collectively in a consecutive period of time, like every fucking day, sometimes do you think you have to be broken enough to finally be a good comebacker when you have to handle a horrible heckler?
Yeah, I don't know.
I hate being mean to people. I hate being mean to people. But I
swear it's like I don't like doing it that much either. I think I like doing it more.
Yeah.
But like now it's like I've like turned down a few roasts recently just because it's like
I wish
I don't like. I just want to spend time